So you've just got your hands on a new Google Pixel 9 or 9 Pro. You already know the basics, but thankfully there's so much in the software worth taking advantage of to really take advantage of everything that it has to offer. I'm Cam Bunton from Trusted Reviews, and in this video I'll show you some of my favourites. Recognize music instantly and find it afterwards. Google Pixel has had this feature for a few years now where you can get it to recognize music that's playing in your vicinity without having to open any apps. It just shows the song name and the artist on your lock screen. To enable it, head to Settings and then Display and then Lock Screen. On the next screen, tap Now Playing, and if it isn't already toggled on, you can switch on the option that says Identify songs playing nearby. In this screen, you can also find a list of all the songs your phone has recognized. Tap the Now Playing History option, and your history of recognized songs appears as a list. Tap on any of the songs to play it in Spotify, YouTube, or YouTube Music. You can even add it to playlists. Manually recognize music from the lock screen. On a similar note, you can add a little toggle to your lock screen that allows you to manually tag a song. It's useful if the Now Playing system doesn't work. In that same Now Playing screen, toggle on the option to show a search button. Once enabled, if you're on your lock screen, you can tap that search icon to find a song. Customize your lock screen clock. If you head to Settings, Wallpaper and Style and tap on the Lock Screen tab, you can swipe across the thumbnail of your lock screen to change the clock style. Once you have your desired clock, tap the clock color and size option, and on the next screen you can have the clock be a specific shade, or if you pick size, you can have it be a small clock, or leave it as dynamic, and it'll automatically change depending on what content is on your lock screen. Fit more apps on your home screen. Now by default, your Pixel has 4 columns of app icons on your home screen. But if you're like me and either prefer the symmetry that comes with an odd number of columns, or just have too many regularly used apps, you can fit in more by increasing the number of columns. Open your settings, tap Wallpaper and Style, and choose the home screen tab at the top. Now tap the app grid at the bottom of the screen, and on the next screen, choose the 5x5 option. Fit more everything on your screen. As well as fitting more apps on your screen, you can increase the amount of just about anything on your Pixel display by decreasing the display size and the font size. To do so, just head to Settings, Display, then Display Size and Text, and you can adjust the size of both the font and the display itself to make more room for more of, well, everything. Of course, if you struggle to read such small text and such, you can increase the size instead, and even make the text bold or high contrast. Or both. Launch Google Gemini with a swipe. Now if you head to Settings, Display and Navigation mode, and then tap on the Settings cog near Gesture Navigation, there's an option at the top of the screen to swipe to launch an assistant of your choice. Toggle it on, and when you swipe upwards from the corner of the display, it'll launch Gemini. Word of warning though, you might accidentally launch it when trying to go to the home screen if you're not precise. Face detection, screen rotation. Now with Android phones, I've often found that when rotating the display, they'll either require you to tap a button on the screen to manually rotate it horizontal when watching videos or using apps, etc., or worse, rotate it when you didn't mean for it to. But if you go into Settings and then Display and then tap the Auto Rotate Screen option on the next menu, you'll see an option to toggle on the face detection feature. With this on, it can use the camera on the front to tell which orientation you're viewing the phone in and more accurately detect when you want the screen to rotate. AI-generated wallpapers. Now if you're bored of the standard set of wallpapers on the Pixel 9, you can always use the generative AI feature to come up with new ones. If you go into Settings and then Wallpaper and Style, you'll see an option that says More Wallpapers. At the top of the next screen, tap the AI Wallpaper option. Then choose a theme from the available options, and on the next bit you can tap any of the underlined words and change those to change the prompt. Hit Create Wallpaper when you're happy, and once it's generated some options you can swipe through them, save them, favorite them, or set them as your wallpaper, or even ask it to reload and generate new ones if you're not happy. Cinematic wallpapers. Now you can turn any image into an animated cinematic wallpaper with depth just by going to your wallpaper settings again, tapping More Wallpapers, and on the next screen tapping My Photos. Choose the photo that you want to make cinematic, position it how you want, and tap the little stars icon in the top right corner of the display. Now toggle on the cinematic wallpaper option, and it'll separate foreground and background layers, generate texture and depth so that it moves and adds a cinematic effect. AI generated pictures. Now Pixel 9 comes with a new app called Picture Studio. Open it and then hit the Create option at the bottom. Now you can type in a description of what you want, so if you want a cartoon picture of Jar Jar Binks being chased down by some Ewoks, Type that in and it'll generate some options. If you're not happy, generate new ones or save the ones that you do like. It can do more than this obviously, so the limit really is just your imagination. Make stickers of yourself. Now Picture Studio can also create stickers using any existing photos. So when you first open that app, tap the little image icon in the small circle button at the bottom of the screen. Now choose an image that you want to use as a basis of your sticker. On the next screen, draw around the object that you want to make a sticker, then once selected, it'll be all color tinted. Tap the Make Sticker option, then confirm, and you'll have yourself a sticker to use in messages and so on. Add yourself to any photos. Now there's a feature called Add Me in the camera app on Pixel phones, where you can switch photographers and add yourself to any picture. It's super useful, if slightly disingenuous way to make sure you get yourself in photos that you normally miss out on. Or if you'd rather, you could just have two of yourself in the photo instead. Just open the camera app, tap Add Me and use the camera and the guidance on the screen to take two photos in succession, and that way Google's AI will magically add you to the same photo twice, stitching it all together pretty seamlessly. Minus a foot here and there. Move your cursor the easy way. There's a cool little feature in the Google keyboard that lets you move the cursor on the screen just by swiping on the spacebar. So whether you're in Keep Notes or typing a message or an email, just tap on the spacebar and keep your thumb down and then swipe left or right to position the cursor where you want it to be. Switch off the keyboard in the app drawer. You might have noticed when you swipe up on the app drawer to find apps, it automatically loads up the keyboard and puts the cursor in a search bar so you can find anything anywhere using Google Search. But if you just wanted to load the bog standard app drawer, you could stop the keyboard from doing this. Just long press on your home screen wallpaper and tap the Home Settings option. Then tap App List Settings and toggle off the option next to Swipe Up to start search. Turn off Suggestions. Now Google's got a Smart Suggestions feature that brings up suggestions of apps that you might want to open depending on different factors like time of day, location, and so on. But if you want to turn that off, open your Home Settings by long pressing your wallpaper and tapping Home Settings. On the next screen, tap Suggestions and then just toggle all the options off. Change the sky in your photos. Now one really cool AI feature in Google Photos lets you replace the sky in your photo. It's a great tool if you've shot photos on a really grey, overcast or miserable day. Open the Photos app and choose the landscape or photo that you want to edit, and now tap the Edit button in the bottom toolbar. On the next screen, tap the Magic Editor button, which is the small pulsing colourful icon in the bottom left. Once the editor loads, tap the Magic Editor button in the middle again, and you'll get a pop-up menu with a choice of different options. You can choose either Sky or Golden Hour, and both will generate different dramatic, visually interesting sky options for you. Save the one that you like or keep generating until you get one that you want. Turn your photo into a painting. Now this one is pretty cool, and with the Google Photos app you can take your photo and use AI to turn it into a painting style image. All you need to do is open your photo, tap that Magic Editor button in the bottom corner, and then tap the Magic Edit button in the middle on the next screen and tap Stylize in the pop-up menu. This doesn't appear for every single picture, by the way. Once you've done that though, it'll take your photo and generate a few different artistic styles, so you just save the ones that you like. Use your Pixel as a wireless charger. If you head to Settings, Battery, then Battery Share and toggle on the switch at the top of the screen, then turn your phone over, you can place another product with wireless charging on the back of it and your Pixel will charge it. It's super handy for earbuds. Lastly, the Easter egg. Every version of Android comes with a hidden Easter egg. You can find it by heading to Settings, About Phone, and then finding Android version. Tap that on the next screen, repeatedly tap Android version at the top of the page. Now it loads a space-themed screen, so tap and hold that Android space icon in the middle and it loads a little game. Using your thumb or finger, adjust the trajectory and the speed of your little spacecraft and then find any planets or stars. Using the position coordinates and the velocity indicators at the bottom of the screen, you can then find them. The big star in the middle of your solar system is at coordinates 0, 0. So there you go, some useful tips and tricks to try on your Pixel 9. Of course, there are many more features, but if I included them all, this video would be about 3 days long. Let me know your favourites in the comments, or you can get me on social media. I'm at Cam Bunton. If you did like this video, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe and tap that notification bell, and share it with anyone that you think would find it useful. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye bye.